Next, we will have Junling Gao from ODIN Swap Tours to have a presentation. They developed a decentralized auction platform on Bytom blockchain. Welcome.
Hello, thank you everyone. My name is Junling, and what I'm presenting we want to take is how to use the PPK to change something. Okay, maybe it seems the title for the presentation was a little wrong, and that's it. Okay, let's start with some questions. It's a company, Google. I believe everybody here was know it. It's a very big company and works to providing the search engine. And I have a question for you. Do anybody know what really thing the Google is shared? What's the Google was sold? Typically, everybody, it's a very straightforward question answer is Google is sell advertise. And everybody knows that Google is a big player in the marketing for advertisement. But is that really right that Google is selling the advertisement? No, not exactly actually. From my understanding, Google is what we shared. In the really Google sold is that everybody's capability to find the right answer for questions. And honestly, the advertisement somehow maybe can be taken as the payment. We're using the advertisement to pay for Google to help us to search the results. Another company, Taobao. And as most of them, comes from China, and I believe everybody should know this. What really is the Taobao sold? Typically, we all say that we're on the Taobao website. It's like the Amazon, but maybe we should take it as the eBay. And we can see many merchandise in the Taobao. But everybody knows that Taobao didn't own everything. It's no nothing. So we cannot say Taobao sold everything. From our understanding that Taobao is sold, Taobao is selling the capability to meet the requirements for buying the merchandise. And it helps us to guarantee the transaction will be successfully done, completed. And that's the real world. That's the current business. Google helps us to find the answer, and Taobao helps us to buy something. But the question is it really good? I doubt it. Firstly, let's think about Google's case. Why Google say do not be everywhere? The simple answer, let's go back to China. Let's say about Baidu. Everybody in China from China understand what the Baidu did. So if Google do something everywhere, that's make Google Baidu. And we go back to the Taobao's case. Typically, we rely on Taobao to help us to buy the merchandise. But somehow, we cannot rely on it due to on the Taobao, we can find many things that's fault. That's something wrong. That's why, and while we try to buy something right, it's something we cannot rely on it. Let's do some daydream. Can we just think about one thing? Is there any possibility that we can buy every right and find everything right from Google and buy everything right from every part? The daydream is, if in some place, if everybody will not do any lie, everybody is trying his best to provide the real answer, that we need the Google, we need the Taobao. And we can buy everything from everybody directly. Typically, as we all understand, that Taobao don't sell anything, so we can buy everything. But typically, as we all understand, everybody can hide his thoughts, hide his idea. So that's unfortunately is not right. We cannot rely on anybody to give the right answer. Let's think about blockchain. Why we need blockchain? If we think about from blockchain world, that's something new, something we bring to this kind of world. That's we cannot rely on anybody to provide the real answer. But if we think about blockchain, that maybe we can find some position, some idea like, let's say, from blockchain's view, yes, if we think about BTC's network, let's just say, everybody can lie, but if he lie, he will pay more than what he get from lie. So let's go back to blockchain. If we have one place that's in this environment, that everybody, if it's lie, his lie, he will pay more than what he gain. Then everybody don't lie. So we can find some place that can provide the real thing and the right thing. So go back. What we provided. We name ourselves as a PPK, primary key, and our offering. For us, that's we want to do is firstly, give every asset, give every person, give every idea an ID. Firstly, ID asset. That means every house, every car, every dollar, every banking account, we want to give it a definitely directed key ID. And then we ID people. We give every person an ID. And so that every person can have a designated ID to find him. And then ID a company. If we can do business with a company, we want to do business with one entity, we want every company can be tracked that by the ID. So that's for our first offering is want to give every entity an ID. Second, hash everything. ID, honestly, from some view, ID means nothing. If I told you my name is Justin, you just know my name is Justin, but you didn't know anything others. What about my history for transaction? Or what about my purchase record? Is me can be reliable, or cannot tell lie or not? We didn't know anything. So if we want to know the real idea from it, I told in our daydream, we should hash everything. We should know what's the real thing, what's the purchase record, what's the usage record. For example, if we want to know what this kind of car is, if we want to buy a second-hand car, that means this car was constructed, built in one company, and then was sold to one person, and if it was fixed in some place, if we can see everything here, we know how much I can pay for this kind of car. So the second thing we want to do is hash everything, hash every attitude and information. That means purchase records, usage records, every comments. For example, if I buy a second-hand car, I want to say this car was very good. I comment it. But this car's brake is something sometimes get wrong, I comment it. Then at last, if I want to sell this car, everybody can understand what kind of car it is. So that's the second thing. We want to hash everything. The final thing is say, we already gave every entity an ID. We already tried to give everything, every information a hash. Then how to store them, how to use them. That's what we get from the Bytom. That's sidechain. We want to use the sidechain to store everything, every information for us, every idea, every comments, every information. We want to build every sidechain for every ID. Okay, let's go to what we talked about, ID equals sidechain. The key idea from us is from behind the PPK is say, every entity should and will own its designated sidechain. But this kind of sidechain should be anchored in the mainnet. That's what Bytom provided so far. And then everything related to current entity to make a record, such as sidechain as a transaction, and we will store the record in this kind of sidechain. That's what we talked about, that's hash. And if we want comments, we will hash the comments and store that in the sidechain, and then we will know it. And then sidechain. For sidechain should be managed and read by its stakeholder. Typically, if I want to have a car, it's owned by me. Typically, this kind of car information should not be understood by others. Nobody, if this kind of car was not be sold out, nobody should care about this kind of car. But maybe at first, the person, the company, the factory which sold the car to me should understand that it's sold from, well, for example, Toyota or Tesla or something else. And then if we go to a factory to fix, the fix company should say, okay, I do some fix. So technically it's a very good scenario that we can use the POS. This kind of sidechain was only need read and understood by the stakeholders. And then what we can do? After that, every asset, resource, every purchase records, every transaction, we can store the information to this kind of sidechain. And this information recorded procedure will be stored, will be over-managed by all the stakeholders. For example, I get this car to one factory to do fix. So both the factory's sidechain and this car sidechain will be append one records. This kind of records was between the me and the factory owner, and the two records will be appended so that they can referenced by each other in the future. Then we can say, okay, this kind of factory was good or not. This car was good or not. Then after that, we should sometimes schedule it to anchor this kind of sidechain information back to the mainnet to guarantee, yes, this kind of sidechain we should not be read by everybody, but we should guarantee all the information was right. So sometimes we go back to the mainnet to say this kind of sidechain was already right sometimes, and we should anchor it back. Next thing, privacy. I believe when everybody sees this picture, Big Brother is watching you. I just shared you the idea that we store everything in the sidechain, every purchase, every comments. Does that mean if somebody gets this sidechain, does that mean every information was leaked can be monitored? No. Our answer is no. Typically, for us, firstly, as I already shared you, that's the information in this sidechain only be shared on the stakeholders. That's the first thing. The second thing is the information recorded. Remember what we said about hash everything. The information we recorded on the sidechain every time is the hash. It's already every time it's just the hash information, hash key of this kind of documents. So we can guarantee that in the future the work it should be. If we want to sell a car, then we share the sidechain. Then we share the documents that's related to this kind of sidechain's hash. So everybody understands, okay, this kind of information was right written in the sidechain that time. So we can say, okay, this kind of information can be right, and we understand that this information was right without reading the information. Even this sidechain can be get by everyone, but nobody can understand the real information without know the real idea. Then what we are now? We are a team. PPK team, we already working for the blockchain for around 5 years. And we focused on the ID area, and we try to make something right. And so far, we are working on how to do it, and that's what I had suggested you what we already think about. And so far, we're already working on some ID. We have a protocol to help us to ID every entity. That's our offering one. And we defined the protocol to share, and to share how to share this kind of information, how to know this kind of information, and then how to do it, and then how to know it. We done some information to share. That's if we have one ID, we can know which kind of information, this kind of information was stored in the blockchain, in the BTC, in the Ethereum, or in the Bytom. And then we can do the ownership transfer for this kind of ID. That means if we try to sell a car, we can think the future, that we can just issue a transaction in our network. Then this car maybe just embed a private key in its hash hardware, and then use your cell phone. If I try to do a transaction to transaction this car's ID from 1 to 1, from A to B, and then after the transaction was done on the internet, the person B can just go to the car without the key and using his cell phone to open the car directly. That will be very interesting word. And another thing is about ecosystem. We need to get it done. That's the idea we have. We already have the ID information. We already have the idea to enhance the ecosystem sidechain to store all the informations. But we need to provide and construct this kind of ecosystem. We have many things to do. But the key question is, for us, if really this is a good idea, that's we can get everything right. We can get everything in the right attitude. I believe we can find some solution to build this kind of ecosystem to help every person to get money. That's we strongly believe it. Then, why Bytom? We had this kind of project and shown on the Bytom, and we were using Bytom recently, and we find that it's a very good system to working with among the blockchain area. I believe, and we believe that this kind of sidechain and works better. And with that, and it's easy for us to construct what we want. And depends time. There's one question we did not cover, and I talked about Google at first, and as anybody can understand, notice that I didn't cover how I cover the Google's business. Maybe we can talk it offline. We already have something in our idea, in our main roadmap. Demo, that's something we worked. We have the PPK swap tool that can do the ODIN swap. We can auction the transactions, that's the ID, and we can log in using this kind of ID to manage this asset, this people, or the company. And then use a log on, new bid, that's the start from the transaction. And the seller, we have this kind of barcode that's already becomes from the different blockchain, and it can guarantee. And if some person using one ID, yet we already has the protocol to guarantee that it will be based on the different chain. Bid checker, that's something we will record it in our next sidechain. That's how the transaction works, how the purchase record works. Pay, and that's us. We have this kind of community, and we tried to work for it 5 years. I told you, and we did it good, and I believe, and we're already on track. And the next question is who and we are joining us to help us to build this kind of word. And go back to our PowerPoint title. Think about what we will bring to this world. We believe we will bring something to this world. Depends on the blockchain. Depends on what our idea, what we think. Thank you, everybody. That's the barcode. It's our WeChat group chat. And if everybody's interested, can join us. Thank you.